I think I'm live. I can't tell. I've been having tech issues once again. Don't we love it? Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day tonight. Great day tonight. Doesn't that sound good? Hi, this is Candia Sanders, and it's a full solar eclipse day and the new moon. How special is that? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about ETs. We're going to talk about walk-ins, reincarnation, manifesting, all of the above. How does that sound? Sounds like a great night to me. So I'm going to put it out to the audience. I want you to start thinking about what it is that you would like to manifest over the next month, because we have a brand new moon today in Sagittarius. And because of this, we get to start honing in exactly what it is that we want to create in this world. We have a lot of outside nonsense that is going on. Unbelievable, right? And we have a global lockdown. And I feel that if all of us start focusing on freedom, on opening up, on being positive, on creating the things that we desire and we want in our life rather than on the things we don't want, such as lockdowns, such as vaccines, such as all the political nonsense of turmoil. We want to have peace. We want to have union. We want to have joy in our personal lives. We want to be able to go to the grocery store and pick up food that we normally could get. We want to be able to spend time with our family and our friends. We want to be able to travel. We want to be able to get together and sing. We want to be able to enjoy ourselves in the way that we know is possible. Do I feel like we're going back to the way it used to be? No. However, we can take it to the next level. We can take it to a higher level. What do you think about that? That's kind of where I am. So, new moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the philosopher. He is the goal setter, the athlete. I had to write all these down to remember them. The teacher and the higher mind. So Sag is all about the higher mind. So what does that mean? That means we want to tap into our higher selves, our higher mind, so that we are focusing in on things of higher value, of consistency, of taking the high road. How's that? Thinking about taking on the high road. So easy to get frustrated when you have blamers and shamers out there. Trust me, I've had a few of those encounters and moments. However, the more we just focus on, isn't life beautiful? Isn't it grand? Connecting with nature and literally getting outside as much as you possibly can, because nature is our connection. It is our best teacher right now and our anchor towards this positive future that we all want to create. So in our new moons are all about manifesting. They're all about creating what we desire over the next month. Again, how much fun it landed on my night to create. And so was the solstice next week. How much fun is that? So with this new moon, I really want you to tap into that energy. Tap into what it is that you want to do. So how do you do that? I really would like you to think about this month as this wonderful opportunity of a lifetime, literally like a lifetime event, kind of like Groundhog's Day. And imagine that you're at a bowling alley and you have the bumper guards up, and the strikes are your goals that you want to manifest, not only for this month, but going into 2021, because this moon will go into 2021, by the way. And what it is that we want to create as individuals and as a collective into 21, 22, and 23. So in that bowling alley, we have a bumper guard, and the strikes are our goals and our aspirations. And I really want you to think about what you want personally. Think outside the box a bit. We tend to limit ourselves over and over again. So the more you tap into, I'd really like to go to Bali. Maybe I can do it next fall. Maybe I'd really like to go to the Grand Canyon because I've never done that before. I would really like to spend the weekend at the beach. Whatever it is, start putting that into the bigger picture. I'd really like to learn how to speak Swahili. God, it's always been something I've wanted to do. Okay, I'm going to look that up, see what it takes to make that happen. Think outside the box. That's what Sag is about. Sag is all about being incredibly independent. So thinking beyond, being excited, being the fun of the party. Think outside the box when you start to manifest what it is that you want to create this moment and what you want to do through this next month, okay? Very important. Now, the solar eclipse, the full solar eclipse, I believe, was seen completely today in Argentina. And solar eclipse they are your opportunity to be Dorothy, meaning that you can be taken out of Kansas, taken to Oz, and set down anywhere. So with that, expect, back to expectancy, like those strikes, expect great things to happen. Even in the midst of all this negative nonsense, the more we as our group, the bigger group, we all start focusing on the bigger picture, what we desire, not what we don't, the faster it will happen. So imagine that we are all Dorothy. I don't personally want to go to Oz. I don't know about you. Wasn't really fond of those flying monkeys and that Wicked Witch. Even though we do have a lot of those players right now on the stage. Main stage globally, main stage in the United States, we've got a lot of those flying monkeys happening. And a few Wicked Witches. Yep, we have a few of those. So again, I don't want to go to Oz. So think about where you do want to go and what you want to manifest. I just feel this is such a great thing. So utilize the energy of the new moon and utilize the energy of the solar eclipse to really rocket you, all of us, into where we want to be. Great stuff. How exciting to be on this day, to be able to be on live. My show just happened to fall on it perfectly. I love new moons because I was born on a new moon. So today I woke up happy, energized, just ready to rock and roll. So think about when your moon, actually there's a question for you. Find out what day, where the moon was when you were born, and see if it coincides with your favorite moon. Mine does. Mine, the crescent moon is actually what we consider the new moon, when in reality the new moon is when the sky is completely dark. Now, for those who have been with me before, you know that I pick cards. When I do readings for people, I never use cards because I look at people's energies. However, when I do these lives, I think it's really fun to pull a card for our next week. The week for the new moon through the solstice, when everybody is going to knock our socks off. I got to step on that before I go into my cards yet. The solstice this year, there go my glasses. The solstice this year, no matter what anybody thinks out there, is going to lift us up to a new vibration. And all of the people who want to hang on to the past, it's not going to happen, because collectively, galactically, we will be shifting. And we'll talk more about that next week. But to me, it's just so exciting, so exciting. I got to get my glasses. I dropped them. So, back to the cards, okay? For those who know, I do crystal oracle cards because I love crystals. My house is filled with crystals and rocks, and I feel that they are a great teacher for us. And this week's, I just pulled this right before I went on live, is malachite, one of my favorite stones. I will show it, just if you're not familiar with it. It's that beautiful green colored stone. Sorry if my glasses are reflecting, but I need to be able to see. So malachite is all about healing. And let's be honest, we all need to heal our past wounds. We need to go into healing of not only our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, and our physical bodies. My invitation to all of you, especially through the holidays when we eat the wrong foods, is to be incredibly mindful of what you put into your body. It is fuel for your body, your mind, and your soul. So be mindful. Even if it's filled with a zillion treats around you, be mindful. Sugar absolutely disrupts the entire system. All the white flours disrupt the system. I mean, I could go on and on, right? I'm a food Nazi. So be very mindful about what you're putting into your body as fuel so you can heal. So healing, very much at the top. Change. Oh, no kidding. We're in a fast, lightning speed shift on the planet with change. A lot of people aren't comfortable with change. That's why so many people are holding on to the past. They voted for the past. The past, we can't hold on to it anymore. We can no longer do the old systems because we moved into Aquarius. And we're not fully anchored into it. Next week is going to help solidify us. We won't be fully, completely in the age of Aquarius till probably 2023. However, 2024, right in there. However, we are at the beginning stages. So again, all those people that have held on to the past, voted for the past, sorry, things are not going to allow us to stay there. And those who don't want to shift, who want to stay in the past, are going to be the most challenged actually, in terms of going forward and being healed themselves, because when we hang on to things that no longer serve us, all we do is keep ourselves stuck. So change. Insight. Okay, this week is about insight, connecting in with your intuition, your higher insight of knowing. Really tap into this. Trust it. If you get clouded, okay, if you get clouded, I'm going to put my book down for just a second. I'm going to give you some tools. If you get clouded with your insight and you get overwhelmed with your head or outside circumstances, okay, we've talked about this before, but rewrite, realign, okay? Realign with your heart and your mind, your higher self, and connect to source. Get into that alignment, get outside, get grounded, breathe fresh air, clear yourself out, take the negative energies, push it outside of your boundaries, let it go with love and light, realign, and then allow that insight to come in, and trust your heart, trust your insights, because then when you do, you're going to start to see the bullshit that's out there. Oh God, that is so thick right now. You need to have a shovel. Maybe you need a crane. Maybe you need one of those great big backhoes. Yeah, I think that's what we need right now. There's so much bullshit going on. So all the more reason it's so important to be clear with your insight, clear with your intuition, and really check in with it every single day, every hour, right now more than ever. So this is your week to really focus on that. It's also about loyalty. Who are you loyal to? Where do your loyalties need to be disconnected, actually? I mean, there's always the mirror side, right? I tend to be incredibly loyal to many, many people and to things, and sometimes it's gotten me into trouble. Actually, I stayed in my first marriage. Well, everything's perfect, right? But on a certain level, I probably stayed in my marriage too long because I was loyal to my husband. I was loyal to the marriage. However, I was dying, actually. I got down to 97 pounds, skinny as a rail, couldn't eat anything, so unhappy, and my body let me know it's time to go. So my loyalties here kept me stuck, and they can keep you stuck. So really think about your loyalties. Where do they need to be let go, and where do they need to be strengthened? And the last one is patience. Well, I don't know about you. Patience has not always been my best attribute. So think about patience in regard to your life. Where are you not patient? Where are you overly patient? And where do you need to find middle ground? I think that really good insights there. So now let me just read from this. I'm going to look down so my glasses aren't reflecting in the bright light, but I think the light is good. The predominant quality of this malachite crystal is support and healing, and I don't know anybody on the planet who doesn't need that. This is a time of positive change, and even though we have all this outside nonsense going on, trust that we have positive change. The universe has our back, the angelic realms have our backs, so we're going with it. You will soon let go of, oh, this is funny, let go of past regret and guilt, and this will pave the way to a positive and inspiring future. What was I just talking about earlier? About the fact that this is an opportunity to let go of the past, because even though there are those who hang on to the past because it's safe, right now it's all about pushing forward and embracing the current moment, the full eternal now, right this second. That's what this is all about. And so we got to let that stuff go. Let it go. Forgive yourself. Let it go. Forgive them. Let it go. Just keep working on it till it's processed and you can move forward. Very important. So I love it. This mirrors this. I love this. See, I love the synchronicities. Guilt and regret stem from a misconceived belief that you could have acted differently in the past. And if you had done so, things would have turned out better, either for you or for others. See, just me talking about my previous husband, right? My ex-husband. Where did they come up with ex, right? Isn't that weird? I think that's weird. Anyway, sorry. Where'd it go? Yet the universal law is such that it is impossible for you or others to ever lose anything without gaining an equal amount in return. Life is always held in perfect equilibrium. I love that. Think about this. I don't know about you. I have lost a few friends through all of this nonsense because, as you know, I'm very vocal. I am not afraid to share my feelings and my beliefs and what I know to be true. And that pisses people off, it upsets them because it undermines, in some ways perhaps makes them look at their own belief system, and then they have to think about it because it's what I think about is outside the box. So lost some friends. However, just like the universal law says, the equal amount, if maybe not more, of people have come in. So I want you to think about that in regards to your own life. Very important. You're currently, I can say that, failing to see the positive effects of your past actions, choices, and decisions. I know there are a few in the chat room right now that I could speak to specifically on that. Yes, I'm laughing about that. Look carefully and you will realize that many positives exist and that life is forever changing and unfolding in accordance to the higher will of your soul. There are no mistakes, for ultimately all serves a purpose. All is designed to help us expand our awareness in order that we can embrace greater spheres of wisdom and love. Bless the past and let it go. Okay? Again, here's our little mantra. There is no right or wrong choice. Every choice I make is perfect at that time, for it leads to an outcome which is necessary for me to grow in love and wisdom. I love it. That's perfect. Thank you, Malachite. It's wonderful. That's a wonderful gift. Now, before we go into completely the night's topics, I'm going to read just because it's fun. And it is the new moon in Sagittarius in my very special Moonology Oracle Guidebook. I thought this was faster just to read what it says. I haven't read it. I have not read everything in this book. I haven't. So this is as new to me as it is to you. And it says luck is on your side. So I'm going to phrase that. Luck is on our side. I love that. I mean, Sagittarius is happy, remember? It's the higher mind, the goal setter, the philosopher. And so luck is on our side. We need as much of that as possible, which means all the angelic forces are helping to amp us up. I love it. Whatever is coming your way, it looks set to put a smile on your face. Okay, yeah, we got Christmas coming up. That does help. Family and friends, that's a great thing. The new moon in Sagittarius can mark the restart of fun after a period of feeling low. Okay, how many of you in the audience today have been feeling low, tired, uninspired, right? Few, maybe? Okay. Now is our opportunity with this new moon to shift that energy. And again, remember that alignment. The more you're in alignment, the more you have that opportunity to tap into that. So I want you to keep that in your head. Don't let that go. The energy is adventurous and even willing to take a few risks. Okay, risk-taking. I like risk-taking, which means for me, well, it's not really risk-taking to not wear a mask, but it, on a certain level today, just to feel normal, be a risk taker. Don't be afraid. Don't hold yourself back. People hold ourselves back because of fear. It's time to let that shit go. But be careful you don't bet the farm on something here, as the wheel of fortune is still spinning. This card is about exploring life metaphorically, which is what we are doing right now since we cannot travel. So we are traveling metaphorically, so that's perfect, by exchanging big ideas with others, or just thinking about your own philosophies. For example, on Wednesday nights, I have, some of you here in the live know this, but if you don't, on Wednesday nights, I have a meetup group on literally the meetup.com app or site, and it is Red Pilling, the Great Awakening, Central Oregon. And if you are interested, again, about exchanging ideas and thoughts, you're more than welcome and invited to join us on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday at 7 p.m. Again, you have to go to meetup.com. Then you can search out my name possibly, but definitely Red Pilling, which has put me in trouble, actually, got me in trouble. The Great Awakening, Central Oregon. I think you might have to put in Central Oregon, but it's open to everyone, so you're more than welcome. Again, this is about exchanging and sharing ideas, and especially since we have to do it metaphorically, since we can't do it in person. I usually teach classes in person, my favorite thing. Haven't been able to do it this year, so this is alternative B. That's the other thing to remember. This year is your year for plan B. Always have plan B. B can be the best, right? So if plan A doesn't work out, let it go and keep plan B handy. Okay, da, 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 da. Perhaps it's time to change your mind about something important. Okay, anything you need to shift your mind on, that this was working and now it's not. I thought so and so in politics was a good guy. Maybe he's not. I wish I could talk about that. AG, for those who are in the States, Attorney General today stepped down. Okay, intuitively, I can't go into this really big because you get kicked off of everything, but I can say AG, and it's just a letter. He stepped down, and my intuitive feeling is that they let him go peacefully because things didn't happen and he wasn't disgraced. That's my opinion. So don't look at this as a negative. I'm hoping that with the new replacement, again, we're not going to talk about names today. We're just saying that the Attorney General stepped down. The new named person coming in will be, I think his toes are to the fire. Let's put it that way. I know he's of a certain ilk. However, I do believe his toes are to the fire. And when the toes are to the fire, people start responding. Because that's what this is about, folks, is about moving forward. So, speaking of those things. So, I used to think he was a good guy, knew he was a bad guy. Good guy, bad guy. So, you always can change your mind. Keep your minds open. Okay. It's also a signal that a trip away is coming up if that's something you're working to achieve. Okay, so here's your invitation. Okay, we're talking about this week. We were talking about this next month because it's new moon. And we're also talking about next year. 2021, the year of revelation, the year of revealing all kinds of big truths that a lot of people do not want to know about, do not want to even believe are possible. But guess what, folks? It's coming. Just trust me on that one. It is coming. I know it with every cell in my body. So with that said, my feeling is that by spring things are going to start to lighten up. Okay, what does that mean? My feeling is on a certain level we have the vaccines coming, good, bad, or otherwise. Your choice, my choice, right? And with that said, then all the corrupt, can I say that word on this without being banned? The corrupt governors are going to have to relent and open up. People can get back to work. People can feed their families. We can start making plans for trips. So if you put that in back to when we were manifesting, and I talked about aiming for that strike, putting a trip on your map to focus on for the future, start manifesting right now. Why not? And I love this, that our new moon in Sagittarius is here to support us with that. This is very, very exciting, I think. So think about where you want to go. What do you want to do? So new moons, full solar eclipse, and next week plan on something big. I want to share because it will have already happened before I get on my live next week for the solstice, is that next week I am going either on Sunday or Monday this coming week. I haven't decided yet because, and I'll explain why. I'm heading out to the center part of Central Oregon. I had this feeling about a month and a half ago that I needed to go to the center of the state, and then I started looking up some maps of the ley lines of the planet, the energy grid of this planet. And the energy grid, one of the subsidiary of the main line, actually links into the center of Oregon. How exciting is that? So I am going out to set up a circle of energy. The other cool thing is that in Oregon, actually it comes down through Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and then works its way down through California, down into Central America, is the kundalini of the planet, the snake, the energy of the planet. Now, does that necessarily correspond with all of the chakra system of the planet? Yes and no. You have to look it up. But right now, I just want to focus on next week, the kundalini, the energy of awakening, because that's the awakening energy, and I'm going to connect that in with the grids of the ley line within Oregon and throughout the United States and the world, connecting in the positive energy for enlightenment. Now, what's interesting about the ley lines, back in history, when the earth was being created and then when we were being seeded by ETs and different soul groups, ET groups came here and started working with the population of the planet and creating us and then adding in their genetic strains, all of those different things. Interestingly enough, the Earth, Gaia, she is an energy life force. Her energetic grid lines support humanity. Now, those beings that came here to create a slave race, the ETs that came here to create a slave race, wanted, and they were hoping that the energetic grid lines would control us. Isn't it great? Backfired on them. It's actually given us strength and the ability to evolve to this wonderful spot in evolution today, because the grid lines have helped us. The old sacred sites around the planet have amplified that. There's a wonderful man by the name of Freddie Silva. He has, look him up if you're not familiar with him, he's done research and gone to the sacred sites and put in, different machinery, Geiger counters, whatever, I don't know, to test the energy and the frequencies of the ley lines and these sacred sites. And within these sacred sites, you have a difference in frequency to the point where it feels like you're in meditation. You're outside the static zone, which is really cool. So that's why the ley lines are so important. So that's why I want to tap into them this next week. I've got some ideas brewing as to how I'm going to do that from my intuition. I have copper dowsing rods. I also have, what else do I have? I'm taking pictures with me of different crop circles. I'm taking astrological measurements. I'm taking all kinds of goodies. A friend of mine's going with me. She's taking a singing bowl. And we're just going to go out and see what we can do, what energy we can tap into. Now, my invitation to you is knowing that this really incredible energy is coming up. Those who are on my newsletter, you might have received a meditation I gave or offered up that you can activate. There are global meditations going on. You can tap into those. You can create your own ceremony of just tuning into nature, into Gaia, into the sun, the moon, the whole solar system, our galaxy. And the reason is the solar system is lining up so beautifully, so magically to support humanity on this transition. We've got the Jupiter-Saturn alignment of expansiveness. I mean, this is the light that came in the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, and then back 400 years, and there are those who feel that it was during the time that Jesus was born. So all the more important to really tap into this. So create a ceremony that works for you. Even if you're just outside walking in a park, I don't care if it's raining, use an umbrella, tap into nature, tap into Gaia. Tell her thank you for creating these grid lines of energy to support humanity's ever-evolving expansiveness, our ever-evolving evolution, right? Of alignment with source, with higher dimensional consciousness, with the universe. And she is our support. She is our foundation. So let's thank her and then work with that, and work with the 3 days of when the sun stands still, because that's what the solstice represents. So when we do this, just think of the magic we can create in addition to the new moon in Sag. By then, actually, the 21st, the moon will have gone into Capricorn. So all the more reason to really tap into the Sagittarian energy, which is so much more lighthearted than Capricorn. Capricorn is much more staid, one foot in front of the other, rules and regulations. Success, though, Capricorn is also about success. Of all the signs, Capricorn has the potential to be the most successful out there. So we have that potential right around the corner. My feeling is too that by next week, we're going to have some big heavy hitters come out on the news. So between now and the solstice to the full moon, we're talking some major magic, folks. So all the more reason to tap in, create a ceremony, do a prayer, do a meditation, do a visualization, and we will be doing one here next week. However, if you want to do something during the day, fantastic. The reason too that I talked about maybe doing the grid lines on Sunday is I have learned, this was new to me, that the ancients knew that if you tap into the grid lines the day before the solstice, that the energy is more potent. So maybe I'll be hitting the center of Oregon on Sunday. So anyway, things to think about. Put that into your to-do list, your little checklist for the week, because it's easy to get overwhelmed and easy to get sidetracked. The next shiny object, or we get kind of consumed by all the obligations of the holidays or the negativity of the news. All of that we want to just put into a nice little category you can, get through, and at the same time focus on those strikes, the things you want to manifest, and really utilize this energy that is here for us cosmically, because it's so important and it's so exciting. So now, last week we talked about reincarnation, ETs. We were starting to get into walk-ins when the technology went upside down, and I'm hoping and praying, I'm just looking at my little analytics over here, that everything is going okay, because I got two different things going now. My son has set me up with this new system, so I've got light, I've got information, so we're gonna run with it, okay? So information, we talked about the bigger picture from, and again I'm pulling out my questions, because questions from the audience, which I think were really good. We again, these were our topics last year. Yeah, time in my brain right now, I don't know about you, but time is so nebulous. I think it's why I keep getting dates and times all mixed up, because everything is right now in the eternal now. So I want to talk about, I gotta look at your quick things. Elena's here, Sam's here, Tina's here, Chrissy's here. I love this. Need more daylight. No kidding, and our days are gonna start getting longer. I love this. Bonnie's here, Shelly's here. You guys, I'm so glad you're here. Love you all. Love you all. So, questions. I love these. Now, again, these are not my questions. And again, I'm sorry if my glasses are a bit bright, but I can see this way. I'm going to start with the reincarnation because it really falls into the walk-ins. And I'm trying to think where we left off last week. I didn't clock it. And after the show was over, I just moved on to the next thing. So, here we go. If I repeat this, apologies, we're going to run with it, okay? If Trump is the reincarnation of Patton, and he was born only 6 months after death, 9-month pregnancy, how does that work? Okay. That's a really good question, actually. And maybe I talked about it, but I got to bring it up again just because it's really cool information. We have multiple lives, and there are those who have had a zillion lives. Me, I know. And then there are those who have had fewer reincarnational cycles, and it's because they're newer souls. We'll get into that, but I'm going to stick with this for the moment. So on the multiple verse and the multiple timelines, we have all these lifetimes that are active. And Trump has been, I didn't come up with this. I wasn't the one who put this together, but it's so amazing. Is go onto YouTube, and there is a video, and again, I think I did talk about this last week, but it's a good thing to bring up again. There's a picture of George Patton on a picture on the front of the video on Patton's life, and it looks just like Trump. It's amazing. So again, when souls come in and they hang out with family, and they're saying, okay, we've had this soul agreement before you even came to body. We all got together and said, okay, high five, we're in. We got things to learn. That it was already decided that Donald would keep moving forward, and that soul then chooses the next family lineage and then hangs around, because you don't need to be in the fetus. The soul doesn't need to be still expanding out there. They can come and go, and then when the baby is born, boom, soul's in. Now, what happens, I'm kind of segueing for just a second, when we have those sudden infant deaths, it's because the soul is going, this isn't really what I signed up for. I'm not liking the confinement of this little body, and I can't communicate out. And they have that ability because, again, they're so close to the birth-death cycle. It's very easy. I mean, they still know about the power that we have forgotten about. That's very important. So do I believe George and Donald are the same frequency, the same vibrational pattern? Yes, because he came in here with a huge, huge soul contract, which we will talk about. Okay, so now, and then this is the next question. Do you feel all persons or people have been reincarnated? And that's a really good question, because on a certain level, on a certain framework, I will say yes. And in another framework, I will say no. How's that possible? Because on one level, there are no absolutes. And when we have new souls that are evolving out of the second dimensional frequencies and moving into third dimensional frequencies, which is where we are moving into fourth and fifth dimensional frequencies, those souls that have developed and grown and expanded out of the animal kingdom, per se, out of our dogs, our cats, horses, then it gets dicey with the whales and the dolphin, because I think there's such a high vibrational frequency that they don't necessarily move into people. They don't need that. They're in another construct. But our animals here do evolve, so they're second dimensional frequencies, and they move in. So have they had multiple frequencies, or reincarnational cycles as animals? Yes. But as people, they will be brand new. Not fun. If you'd asked me that 20 years ago, I would have told you, my future self, you're crazy, right? Or my old self. Myself now, I believe this to be true. I've watched it happen. I feel my dog Charlie is a higher dimensional dog, and I've asked him, are you going to come back to me? Because all my talking to my pets about that, and I feel he's evolving into human. And he chose to be blind as a dog so that he would not be blinded as a human, so that he comes in more open. Of course, he chose me to be his buddy pal, so that I could help teach him that, so that when he does come in to human form, that he will be more aware instead of so single-minded, so red frequency, which is just so immediate, tribal, survival type of thing. He will be much more aware. So I got that from him about a month ago, about the blindness and not wanting to be blinded as a new human soul. So once we're in the cycle of humanity, yes, we are reincarnated and reincarnated. And then there are those along the pathway that have evolved and stepped out of our three-dimensional frequencies and moved to the higher planes. And then there are those who, where we are right now, are getting closer. But the higher dimensional frequencies, do they reincarnate, or do they continually evolve and expand? And that's what I feel they do. I do feel we get to a place where we get out of the having to start all over again, where we lose our knowledge, where we have to clear out the gunk, we have to clear out the fog, and we have to begin again. And you're going, oh my God, I got to start all over again. I don't want to do that. I don't want to forget anything that I know right now. So we get to that place where we don't have to do that anymore. But in those thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, 75,000 year cycles, sometimes we don't get out of them. And that's where we are right now. We're at the end of a 75,000 year cycle as we move into this next cycle. And there will be those who will choose, or will they choose it on a certain level, or will they be asked to repeat it? Possibly. That's where it gets a little dicey, because the reincarnational cycles will take them back because they're not ready to evolve and let go of the fear. Because to evolve, we have to let go of fear. We have to forgive, we have to love, and we have to let go of fear to be able to do that. So if people aren't ready to do that, if they're not willing to let go of fear, and they're still stuck in the past, and they're unwilling to forgive, they're unwilling to look at themselves in the mirror and their own emotional insecurities and their own emotional foibles, then they get stuck, and guess what? They get to do the cycles again, and then they're in the whole reincarnational cycle. As we evolve into this next level in frequency, I believe that we are going to have a lot more choice when it comes to that we can pick a form and we get to stick with it, and we get to evolve, and we get to take our information with us and expand. The fourth dimensional frequencies are like a 90,000 year cycle. This one's been a 90,000 year cycle. And then we move into the fifth dimensional frequency of higher realms, which is light body. I know we hear a lot about that out there, and I believe there are ways to go back and forth, but we still, no matter what, still need to move through that fourth dimensional frequency of our heart. Just how I feel, we have to open up to our heart. So, okay, next question. I've got all these great ones. Let's see if I have any more reincarnational. Those are good questions, by the way. I love it when you guys are involved and you are sharing first time viewer. Jay Rocks the Valley. Jay Rocks the Valley. How are you? That's great. New viewer. And if I think it's the right guy, I think it's the right guy. That's awesome. Love it. It is the right guy. Thank you. Okay, let's see. Reincarnation. What does a lifetime look like for soul's first incarnation? Okay, great question. Oh, to me, it's almost kind of funny because on a certain level, it's been so long since I've been there because I have been around the block a lot of times. And you have to joke about this because I'm thinking, okay, have I just not gotten it yet, or what? Actually, I feel I'm from futures past, but that's another story. Anyway, first lifetime, we're going to use Charlie as our example because imagine as you evolve and you are at this place of stepping out of a four-legged form into a two-legged form, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. And that's, again, why Charlie wanted to be blind so he can learn how to use his other senses more clearly, because a first-time incarnation, you're going to be fearful. You're going to be, oh my God, it's sensory overload. This is wild. I need to eat. What do I need to do? So that first experience from my perspective is like the red ray. It's very immediate. It's very focused. It's very X, meaning, okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. And it's going to be evolving, and there will be those souls in the first beginning, if they evolved out of a cat or a dog or a horse, are going to have different experiences. And again, if you'd asked me when I was younger if I believed that, I would have said no, I don't believe that. But I do now, because we evolve from first dimension to second dimension to third and fourth, and even that is not even linear because we can evolve into the higher realms, which is really cool. So imagine that first moment of, oh my God, what am I in? That's what the first incarnation, I feel, until you get a handle on it, feels like. Okay, how many lifetimes does an average soul live? Great question. I don't know that one. I honestly cannot give you a good answer because I believe every soul is unique. And oh, Sonia's here. Love you, Sonia. Thanks for joining. I'm trying to keep track of you guys over there. Thank you, thank you. I wish I knew. I just feel like we're all so individual. I mean, think about this. We have how many trillions of cells in our body, and each one of them is similar, and yet each one of them is unique. The billions of stars and the trillions of stars in the sky reflect ourselves. These all represent the souls, right? So we're all unique. We're all different. So our experiences will all be different. So I don't feel that there is any one given one story fits all thing. That's my feeling. I could be all wet. I could be making this shit up, but that's how I feel. Okay, can I reincarnate into another universe? Great question. Into another universe, no. I don't believe that. I believe we are in our own universe. And again, think about it as cells of the body. So cells, 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 universe, universe, universe. And until we complete this universe, we're not going to go to another universe. Now, that does not exclude that you can't be reincarnated on another planet, or when you literally leave this avatar, that you can be born again. That's an interesting term. You can be alive. You can create a form on another planet. And I've had that one validated several times. One from my dad, but also, I don't know if you're familiar with Jason Shukar, I don't know how to say his name, but he was talking about the man who wrote the Pyramid Code. He is on another planet. I go, high five, because when we leave the body, we can do that. We can go to any place in the universe our universe that we want. So in terms of other universes, this is my truth. If you want to think you can move to another universe, go for it. I'm not here to tell you what to believe, what not to believe. I'm sharing what I know to be true. Okay, another great question, because I wrote these down a couple weeks ago and I haven't finished them, so they're all like brand new. Why do I reincarnate with the same people over and over again? Well, thank God we do. Even if they drive you to China and back, metaphorically, realistically, however, right? Is because This soul group is here to be our best teachers, our best friends, our worst enemies, all of those things, so that we can experience both sides of polarity, so that we can grow to our optimum, because it's all about experiential expansion. That's really the new catchword in my mind, is experiential expansion. When we expand experientially, we expand cosmically, we expand mentally, emotionally, even physically, because we are activating our bodies in a much stronger capacity as we experience more things. You have to be more athletic, you have to be more physical, you have to take care of you. So the people that are in our lives show up, and they can irritate you. You can love them to pieces. They can be here for a short amount of time. They can leave, but just know that they're all getting the Academy Awards for the best actors, the best players, best supporting actors in your life, so that you can be the best that you can be. They are your best teachers, and the ones that drive you the most crazy are truly your best teachers. And when you leave this body and you go meet with them again on a soul level, you can give them the biggest hug and tell them thank you for being the biggest asshole, or the best cheerleader, or the most loving, because they are here to teach us. So we reincarnate with these same soul groups on purpose, so that we can expand. And because we know each other, then we have our best opportunity to help each other out in ways that others further out in our orbits would not have the ability to do. Now, from another level is, imagine this, that with each person, right, we have our orbits, and there are those who are in the inner orbits, and there are those who are out in the Neptune, Uranus, Pluto orbits, right? Clear out Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. You got it. You knew what I meant. So these who are in the outer orbits don't reincarnate with us as often. Those in the middle orbits, a little more often, and those in the inner orbits are basically on our 100-year cycles. The cycles go from 100 years, sometimes to 500 years, and there might even be those who are in the 1,000-year cycle, but I'm really more in the 1, 2 to 500-year cycles, where people show up to influence and help and support us. Right now, we have more people that we have had on the planet at any given time for a very long time. There may have been this many people, wouldn't be surprising, in the Atlantean times, because Atlantis was alive and well in the Atlantic Ocean, and there was a point in time when Atlantis and Lemuria on the Pacific were both on the planet. So they had a lot of bodies. Were they at the 7.3 trillion or whatever we are at now, billion, whatever we are? We got a lot. Billion, not trillion, sorry. I don't know specifically. However, we are at this place where we have a lot of people, and we have all these people right now that want to rid the planet of lots of us, thus the vaccines. However, the positive about having so many people, and the earth is abundant, we do not need to worry about food if we recalibrate how we do things, is having this many people. This is the tipping point that we have right now. I know I'm segueing, but it's very important. Having this many people on the planet right now is so exciting, advantageous for the awakening of humanity, because we keep expanding. Because I talk to you, you talk to your friends, you talk to your family, it keeps expanding. When we have more people on the planet, we have the best opportunity for this expansion in a way that if we were isolated like we were, and we were living in the 1400s, 1300s, when we had the bubonic plague and we were in small pockets, you don't have that opportunity to expand. Right now, having the amount of people that we have on the planet right now is really exciting. So imagine this, with all these people on the planet, if we use these cycles of reincarnation as our focus, is that we have those who are in our immediate, our 100-year cycles, 200, 500, and the 1,000-year cycles. So we've got a lot of players out there. So knowing that, you can look at everybody and know that they have a connection to you. We are all one, and we're all speaking together. So let's unite. We have to unite and not be divided. So great question. And then, okay, I believe my car is reincarnated with me multiple times. This is true. Hilarious question. There is some truth in that, because if you think about it, and I will make it serious, and then we're going to go to walk-ins. is that a car, everything we have around us is all made from things that were created by Mother Earth and that man put his mind to, and nature and men melded their minds together. So in that is consciousness. That's why I always talk to my car. Tell it I love it, because there's consciousness. There are elementals of the car that help keep my car running. So you want to love them. So on a certain level, will that energy field follow you? Absolutely. And because of it, I always have happy cars. So yes, so great question, very funny. Okay, now, walk-ins. Walk-ins is a great segue from reincarnation. What are walk-ins? Who are walk-ins? Walk-ins are souls that, and we do have a walk-in in our chat tonight, which is really fun, and I will share a little bit of that story without revealing who it is. She can share if she wants, and she doesn't have to. But walk-ins are souls that are on the other side. It's beyond the veil. We're all right here, but for visual sake, okay, who are choosing to come into body and who choose a walk-in is somebody that says, you know what, I want to be a baby again. I don't want to lose everything that I came here to learn. I want to remember everything, so I will connect in with a soul that I know and see how they're doing and see what they want to do with that. And I think I talked about this a little bit, but Abraham Lincoln was a walk-in, and his soul was very melancholy, and a higher dimensional soul said, you know what, I really want to follow through with this, because this is such a huge pivotal turning point in history on the earth, because they can see the future, because all time is simultaneous, and the future has already been, the past has already been, the future, or the past is the future. I mean, it's real convoluted, but it is what it is. So that soul then exchanges with that soul, and the other one goes back into the astral levels for rehabilitation, for the universal spa time. Just go, oh, I need some Zen time. I just want to have a massage. While that other soul comes into body, just changes places, is like changing a dress on a certain level, and jumps into that body and takes on that person's karma 100%, and then brings in their awareness. They do not lose that. And it may in time start to filter down, but there will be intuitive hunches and a clear path that you know you cannot not do. You have to do this. May not make sense to anybody else. However, that soul came in with that very clear awareness that this is what happens. And this is what I need to do. It's like the soul that came in is Abraham Lincoln, to follow through with that. And I do feel that there are those on the planet that throughout time that has happened with, and there are walk-ins now. There are those whose higher soul just adds extra energy into their consciousness at this time. So maybe it's a walk-in of more of themselves, so that their awareness comes in. So more kind of shifts places, because again, we're multidimensional. We have multiple lives going on at the same time, so there can be an interplay. Again, in my world, there are no no's anymore, because I'm going, that, sure, why not? That could happen. Who am I to say that it can't? I think we need to keep opening our consciousness to that. And then the next question in regards to that, let's see, is do they walk in or stay, or is it temporary? No, it is a commitment for that lifetime. It is a commitment. For example, the walk-in here in the chat, it's a commitment to say, okay, I'm in, I don't know what it means, but I'm in for the rest of this avatar's life. I am in to do what I came here to do, which in this case, of course, is about sharing higher awareness, sharing spirituality, sharing love, sharing goodness, helping others, being of service. That's what we're all here for. However, in this case, hers is even more amplified in taking it beyond the realm of just her family. So, cool stuff. Okay, let's see, another question. Are walk-ins a choice while we are figuring out our next existence, or we ask for during a lifetime here? Good question. Do we choose this before, and or do we choose it during a lifetime? And I'm going to say and. I'm going to say and, because I do believe that there are souls that want to be in just for the younger experience, because they're going to get what they need and they want, and that, to think about being a child and that innocence and that excitement and the invigoration of being young and youthful, and at the same time learning everything is a new experience, a new joy, a new wonderment. And then they get to the place going, no, I don't want that. I'm out. I got what I needed to learn at this experience. I'll switch. And so that could have been ahead of time. And there are those like Abraham Lincoln and our wonderful gal in the chat that chose that on a soul level due to circumstances in her life. And the reason I can say this is because she came to me as a client years ago, and then I hadn't seen her for a couple of years. She shows up in my office, and I go, oh my God, you're a walk-in. Since I've seen you, you're a walk-in. She goes, so that's what happened. Oh my God. And then she could recall the event when it happened, when she literally got thrown out of her shoes. She fell down. She was just walking down the road. Boom, done. And then she felt discombobulated for about a week, maybe two, and then started feeling normal again. And it's like, what the hell just happened? It's because she did this exchange, and more of her came in and expanded, and definitely a walk-in. It was really fun for me as the psychic intuitive to be able to see this and to watch her and see how she has grown from all of this. It's super cool, and if she wants to share, it's really good. So that was when she chose at this juncture in her life, not now, but when it happened. So it was a soul experience then. So the question, I think, is an and question, or answered in an and. Okay, walk-in. And then, am I a walk-in? How do I know? Can I be swapped out? Can I be swapped out without my permission? I'm going to add all those together. No, you cannot ever be swapped out with your permission. In fact, on those lines, there is nothing in our lives that happens to us randomly, even though it feels random, and sometimes it feels like that we just got, hit with the tsunami. However, the truth is, soul level, it was all set up with our agreement, with our alignment in for the experience on purpose, so that we can feel the polarities, because that's what 3D is. It's all about the polarities. And it's not that one is right and one is wrong. It's just polarities of energies, okay? So nothing happens without our agreement. So if you don't feel like you're walking, 99.9% chance is you are not a walk-in. I mean, you can talk to me about it. However, I'm just going to say I can just unequivocally look at everybody else in the chat room like that, and nobody else is a walk-in. You got some really cool people here. Amazingly phenomenal, awesome people, all light workers here to do great things on the planet, but only one walk-in. So, no. You would remember going back in a moment going, oh my God, because if you're aware, if you are insightful, you can look back over your life and go, that moment. Now, if you've had different moments in your life where you had these intuitive downloads and uploads and realizations, that's different. You're just tapping into your higher self and lining up and raising your frequencies. That there is a difference with that. And then how do you know? Can you be swapped out? No. Okay. And does anyone have more than one walk-in during a lifetime? That would be a hell of a ride. I can't speak to that. I can't say no, that hasn't happened, because you know what? In this multiverse, anything is possible. So, could happen. I don't know. I'm saying could happen. Let's leave it at that. And can anyone else tell? No, because most people, unfortunately, are living with blinders, like the monkeys like this. That's where most people live, unfortunately. And so they're not going to pay attention. It's going to only come from somebody who is highly intuitive, psychic, aware, that would notice that something has shifted within you, that you might be a walk-in. So most people, no. I mean, come on. In fact, I likened what we're doing right now and this shift, this next week, this next year, these next 3 years, as we anchor into this timeline and the frequency that we want to be in, is that consciousness-wise, we are going through this tunnel. Now, some people liken it to going through the birth canal. Somebody told me the other day, it was so good, that we're going through the birth canal breach. Going, yeah, that could be very true. But I liken it to a train at a tunnel where we're taking the sharp turn because we're turning the elliptical on the orbit in the universe. And we are coming and we are literally moving back towards the sun, towards the center of our system. And as we do this, we are becoming more aware. So this train of enlightenment that goes around this corner through this tunnel, we've got a good 3 train cars full of us. Everybody's here. We're full of people that are aware. I don't want to say unfortunately. The sad thing is, let's see, realistically, there's a better word so it doesn't sound negatively, is that we still have 20 cars behind us that are still in the dark. And we still have those that are not even in the tunnel that are still caught and trapped in the past. And it's those, we're just going to send them love. And maybe by 3 or 4 years they will have awakened. And maybe there are those who will move out of our timelines and out of our special universe that we have created. And they will go create their own space and place. So just know in this time frame, over this year, let's see, this month, see I get my time all screwed up now, into next year, 2021 through 2024, we have the potential to move most of the train through, okay, into levels of higher dimensional light. So how we can amplify that ourselves is to start visualizing in the morning, when you go to sleep, when you're waiting at line, whatever, that filling your body, every cell of your body with light. Every cell is just filled to the brim. And any pockets, we talked about this before, any pockets of darkness, you go in and light it up like a flashlight. Make sure everything is lit up like a brilliant Christmas tree in every cell of your body. The more you do that and you actively, mindfully do that, you share that with other people, and then they kind of get caught in your orbit thinking, oh, feels good. How do you do this? How are you feeling this? And you just share that love and light with them, and that will help shift their awareness, even if it's one step up on the rung, just to go, oh, I hadn't thought about that way. Or even if it helps them be happier, more positive. So the more you do that, the more you change and shift the world around you, but it will also help and benefit those others so that we can get this train through us. Now, or through the train. I got that screwed. I'll get so excited. The truth too is, I've always felt this. Again, talk about changing beliefs. I think this is really important to recognize that we're always changing beliefs, or we should be. If you're stuck in beliefs, it's time to open up some of those doorways. My belief has always been that, and it's the intuitive psychic healer in me that I feel like, okay, I gotta grab everybody's hands, we gotta pull them through the keyhole. And I've really realized now that those trains that haven't even hit the tunnel yet, not my job, your job, to enlighten them. They are exactly where they are supposed to be, so that everybody that does come through this keyhole, that comes through the tunnel, is there because of their soul contract with themselves for enlightenment. We've got a lot of issues right now on the planet with a lot of victim culprit mentality, a lot of victimization, the Antifa, the BLM, a lot of victim mentality, a lot of anger. And the truth is, every soul, every single one of them can blame and shame all they want, but the truth is, that's their soul contract to sign up to be in those roles. There are no accidents. So if they want to stay in that vibration, that's their choice. And again, this is my evolution of thinking, that those who come through in the light, we are here to keep shining the light on brighter. And if those who want to stay in the tunnel and never reach it, God love them, they will hit that next 75,000 year recycle. And it's all good. It's all perfect. And I think that's really important to share, because everybody in here are light workers, and we are all geared and programmed that we are here to help others, and that we need, bring them into the fold. Just shine your light. That's all you have to do, is just shine your light. And now more than ever, shining your light is so critical, so important to be mindful, to be actively mindful, to be actively engaged in every minute. Be mindful of where your thoughts go, have to bring it back to center, and align in. See how I did that? Align in with my heart and connection with Source. And when you're in that space, magic happens, even with all that external nonsense that's going on outside. We need to unite. I have to share something really cool, is that Jay Rocks the Valley, he's one of my buddy pals from Twitter. Found him on Twitter. He found me on Twitter. I don't know. this guy is awesome. He's in BC. And uniting this energy from the West Coast from North. And Tina's in Ontario. She's in Canada too. We're linking energies. And Chrissy, she's in Georgia. We're linking energies. So we start connecting these grid lines of us psychically, of our souls, just like the grid lines of the planet. So the more that we can activate these grids, this is so cool. I've never really thought about it that way until this second. You guys are bringing this energy in. This is really good. Again, we are connecting the grid lines of our soul connections, because there's not one person, even though I may have not met you in person, I know you all, that we are connecting this in together. And the more we do this, the more we can shift this planet, which is just a positive thing, right? That's why we're here. That's why we all chose to be here right now. So with that said, I want you to all think about tonight, new moon. What do you want to create over the next month as if it were a lifetime? Remember that you are Dorothy in New Oz, because I don't like the old Oz. New Oz, and what do you want to create from that? And then the fact that we're going to hit the solstice next week, and we have this potential to literally pull another car through that tunnel, right? More awakening, more alignment, and focus on the here and now and the future, and let that stuff from the past go. All of it just needs to go away, because that's when we untether ourselves and free ourselves to be fully sovereign human beings and uplift humanity. So with that, I send you all love and light and cosmic sunshine to all of you. Thank you to the new people for coming tonight. I really appreciate that. I love all of you. Thank you, Tina. Yelena, thank you for being here, and Shelly and Chrissy and Jason, and thank you guys all. And Sam, who's here. Oh, he's in Minnesota. Sonia's here in Central Oregon. Yeah, I love you, Sam. He's my twin brother from another life. Anyway, love you guys all. Have a great evening. Please think about these. Be as mindful, be as connected as possible. Laugh, have fun, put on some comedy. We all need laughter. And stay in touch with me, please. Facebook, screw that. With Twitter, yes, Jason, stay in touch with me on Twitter. Text me anytime. I'm good with text. Emails, I'm the worst. Phone calls are good. Anyway, love you all. Have a great night, and thanks for being here. Night.